Good morning. Okay, starting today, you will need proof of vaccination to enter a number of non-essential businesses as Ontario launching its vaccine certificate program. So here's a look at where you will have to show that proof of vaccination, including places like dine-in restaurants, nightclubs, gyms, sporting events, and other indoor venues. You will not need to show proof of vaccination when it comes to essential businesses, including grocery stores, doctor's offices, and pharmacies. Those who don't follow these new rules could see fines of up to $750. So how do you get it? Maybe you had it in an email before. There's other ways to do it. You can print it or download a copy of your government-issued vaccination receipt by going to the Ontario website. We'll asterisk this one moment here. Get your proof of vaccination. You click on the vaccine receipt, really easy. Just follow these lines here. Health card, birth date, postal code. Really, it takes you just a few minutes if it was working properly. Again, one moment. The province says it's going to launch an app and QR code on October 22nd to streamline that process. Let's come on back to why you might have an issue if you're a procrastinator and you didn't download it earlier. It looks as though the website is down for scheduled maintenance until 8 this morning. I keep on refreshing this window, and it looks like it's still that way. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. We'll let you know when things are back online. Again, it should be 8 o'clock. Just getting this into our newsroom as well. Premier Ford will be holding an update at 10 o'clock this morning when it comes to vaccine passports. That is just coming through the vaccine certificate program. Again, this news release coming out. So it's going to be Premier Ford, Deputy Premier and Health Minister Christine Elliott, and Solicitor General Sylvia Jones. They will all be part of this one. CityNews.ca if you want to stream that at 10 this morning. Let's get to Faiza Amin now, who's following what's going to be happening on the other end. Okay, so let's say you've downloaded that vaccine certificate. You're going to a restaurant to dine inside. That's where we see her right now along Queen. Good morning to you, Faiza.
Good morning, Mel. We're inside Salad King on Queen and McCall. So let's just get into it. It's the new normal. Alan Liu, the owner of Salad King, joining me now. How do you prepare for this day?
You know, we've been doing a lot of research, including calling up our friends like at Shoppers Drug Mart, at Canada Trace, to just ask them about what's going on, what are the details, right? We've also just been paying attention to all the legislation to see what IDs we can accept, what vaccine certificates that we can receive. So just really doing a lot of research. We've also had to bring back a few staff just because it's going to be a lot of administration at the door. So it's going to be a lot of work.
When it comes to enforcement, because it's been a question that some businesses have been asking, how do you enforce this new rule?
You know, there's going to be a lot of good faith. Like, we're going to check people's data at the door as much as we can. And one of the things we keep in mind is realistically is this is not any more riskier yesterday than today. So we're going to do our best as we can. You know, if people don't have their details, then unfortunately we won't be able to let them in. But you know, there's going to be a lot of learning over the next few days.
There's also you know, surprises like this morning, for example, where the provincial website isn't working, so some people won't be able to download their proof of vaccination. So what does a business like yours do in these situations?
Well, yesterday we already sent out a post on our social media reminding our customers that say, hey, get your your vaccine passport information now, because the website is going to get cluttered. So if you're expecting to get it when you come to our door, please don't do that. Please have it printed out and downloaded to your phone before you come to the restaurant.
I want to show you something else. I'm not sure if we're in B-roll, but a huge part of what you do, and this is something you're doing on your own, is contact tracing. Tell me a little bit about that.
So one of the things we'd like to make sure everyone knows is we as a restaurant need to do both. We need to collect the we need to verify the vaccine data, but we also need to collect the contact tracing and the screening question. So we've worked with a company called Canada Trace. They've been just doing this out of the goodness of their heart as a Canadian citizen, and we use an app that collects all the customer tracing information. We actually don't see any of that stuff, so I have no access to any of the private information. The only way they can get hold of it, or Toronto Public Health, is to contact the company directly. So it keeps the information safe.
Another question people have been asking is, these rules are in place for customers. The province's vaccine program requires proof of vaccination for customers. Some organizations have pointed out those same rules don't exist for employees. So how do you feel about that?
We've been going above and beyond since last March in keeping our staff safe, because I'm more worried about us bringing the virus back home to our families. So we've been doing masks since the beginning. When the vaccines first came out, we've been working together to help our staff register, to get it from our local neighborhood pharmacies. So we've been going out of the way to make sure everyone's safe. So we actually don't see any changes to those policies because they've been working so far.
Alan, really quickly, I have to get this in. The Premier and province set to be speaking at 10 a.m. I know you had questions about signage. Anything you want to mention to the Premier?
Give us a plan going forward. We know what we need to do today. We kind of have an idea what's coming up over the next month when the app comes out, but we don't have any idea when we're going to be able to reopen our dining room completely. So let's work together. Let's give us an idea of what we can do going forward.
Okay, Alan Liu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Mel, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Faiza. Again, Premier Ford, that news conference happening at 10 a.m. We will stream that one, citynews.ca. Prior to that, live here at 8 this morning, Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore, will be joining me. We're going to talk all about the vaccine certificates and as well back to school vaccination rates, all of it. Let's get you to some world news now. Concerns are growing that a possible COVID outbreak could occur at the UN General Assembly that is currently underway in New York after Brazil's health minister tested positive for the virus. Minister Marcelo Quiroga has reported that he's doing well and will quarantine for 14 days. Other Brazilian delegation members, they have tested negative so far, but some say they're not going to participate in the rest of the assembly meetings in order to prevent possibly spreading the virus to other global members. You can hear here several alarms ringing after this magnitude 5.9 earthquake in Melbourne, Australia, the epicenter near the rural town of Mansfield, about 200 kilometers northeast of Melbourne, the country's second largest city. Now, this quake leaving some minor structural damage, and luckily no reports of any serious injuries. Experts say earthquakes in this area are relatively unusual. All right, we have more news coming your way at 7:30. Right now, though, we say hello to the couch. Hi, guys.
Thank you, Mel.